If you have ever looked around your space and thought, where did all this stuff come from? You are not alone. Clutter sneaks up on all of us. But what if I told you that decluttering does not need to be overwhelming? You don't need a whole weekend or a complete home overhaul to make a difference. In fact, we are going to tackle clutter in 15-minute bursts. My name is Larissa, and today we are kicking off our new series, 15-Minute Declutters. Quick, manageable decluttering projects that you can do in 15 minutes or that you can break down into manageable pieces over time. Now, before we jump into the series, let's talk a little bit about decluttering while you're healing or dealing with chronic stress or another health issue or just a tough season in life. First things first, mess is not a moral failing. Mess is not a reflection of your self-worth. Casey Davis talks about this in her book, How to Keep House While Drowning, and she's right. If you're struggling, you're not lazy. Your physical and mental health come first. So don't push yourself too hard, which can be easier said than done. It's always so easy to feel like I should be doing more. Maybe you're off work and you think, well, I'm home all the time. I might as well Marie Kondo the crap out of my house. But here's the thing, pulling out every book, every piece of clothing, every knick-knack off of the shelves, and going through the whole pile and making decisions, that is just a recipe for burnout. Even if you're feeling great, that's just overwhelming. It is okay to move at your own pace. If you have energy, great. If you don't, healing is productive too, and healing is the priority. I will stop ranting about taking it easy on ourselves, which is so hard. And if you are feeling up to some decluttering, here are things that I hope you'll keep in mind as we move throughout the series. Instead of thinking, I need to declutter my whole house or this whole room, maybe focus on 1% better every day. 15 minutes once a day, that's a whole hour in a month. An hour is a long time. 5 minutes every day is 2.5 hours per month. Little steps every day can create big change. I've heard this example a ton, so forgive me if you've heard this before, but a plane leaving from Heathrow, if it's 1% off course, it's not going to end up in the right destination. It's going to end up hundreds of miles away from where it was aiming. So if you make a 1% difference in your home every day, it's going to take you on a completely different path, a path to being cleaner and less overwhelmed. Small shifts over time make a big difference. Instead of tearing apart your entire space, let's take a controlled step-by-step approach. You can either follow along with us, where each month we're going to have a different area of the house, a different room, a different focal point where we are going to declutter. And we also have our 3 Quick Cleans series where we talk about little things that you can do around your house to make it a little bit cleaner, a little bit clean, a little bit declutter, a little bit clean. So you can follow along with us or start with a list of categories that make sense for you and start working through them slowly, making sure that you don't work until you feel tired, but do a little bit and say that's enough for today so that you don't overwhelm yourself and you don't make things worse for yourself. You can create your own list, but a few things off the top of my head, maybe expired spices or spices that you bought and you used in a recipe once and you have never touched again. It's okay to let it go. Most bags of spices cost $1 or $2. If it's taking up space, if every time you reach for the oregano, you end up with cumin that you never used, or every time you reach for the cumin, you get Italian spices that you never use, let go of whatever is causing you stress, even little stress. Little stressors count. Random kitchen gadgets or kitchen gadgets that just don't fit in the drawers. Tongs that don't actually fasten shut anymore. They're fine, they work, but they constantly get wedged in my kitchen drawer. Let them go. I am speaking to myself right now. Larissa, let them go. Makeup and skincare. Expired products, stuff that you never use, stuff that you think you might use one day. Once you empty this bottle of cream, you might try that other moisturizer. And you got it for free from somebody, so you might as well use it. If you have a moisturizer that you like and your skin is happy with, and somebody gave you a free bottle of a different moisturizer and said, hey, try this, you'll like it. Get rid of it, get rid of it. You don't need that. Old socks, socks with no matches, socks with holes, socks that you don't really like anymore because the elastic is too tight and it cuts into your leg, or because it's too loose and it swoops down to your ankle. But you can wear them around the house. I don't know why I keep these things that don't feel comfortable on my body and that I never reach for. It's time to let them go. Think of decluttering as choosing what to keep and what deserves a space in your home instead of focusing on the getting rid of part. Focus on the beautiful stuff that makes you happy and that you really like in your space. Let's talk about guilt. We have all purchased things that we thought we would use. A fancy kitchen gadget, craft supplies, expensive shoes, and then we've barely touched them. Getting rid of these things often feels like failure. This is called the sunk cost fallacy. Holding on to something just because we invested money in it. But here's the thing, that money is gone. Whether or not you keep that item, the money has been spent. But here's another way of looking at it. If you buy a sous vide machine and you never use it, or you use it once or twice, that's not a failure. That's a learning experience. Now you know that sous vide cooking isn't for you. And there are a ton of people who love it. So it was a valid supposition. It could have worked for you. And it just doesn't. You like other kitchen appliances better. They work better for you and your family and your system. Good job you for trying something new. And good job you not forcing yourself to, oh, I gotta use that sous vide machine to get my money's worth. Maybe list it on Marketplace. Sell it to somebody else so that they can try and use it and get some of your money back. If you manage to resell it, amazing. You're recouping a little bit of your money and you're reclaiming space in your kitchen. If you decide to just donate it, give it to a friend, give it to a family member, that's great too, because that space in your home is valuable. That breathing room is valuable. Not feeling guilty every time you lay eyes on your sous vide is important. Get it gone. Even more tricky is the guilt that comes up with sentimental items. Maybe you're holding on to something from a loved one who passed away, and if keeping it makes you feel comforted, great. But if it's just sitting in a box, or if it's sitting on a shelf and you don't really like it, and every time you look at it, you're like, I have to keep it because it was grandma's, instead of feeling crappy about it, remember the memory isn't in the object. You love your grandma. Whether or not you keep her ugly vase or not, it's not going to change your relationship with her, how much she loved you, and how much you love her. It's just going to get an ugly vase out of your home. And somebody else might love that style of vase. They might end up giving it to their grandma for Christmas if they pick it up at the thrift store, and their grandma's going to be thrilled and fall in love with it. And every time they put flowers into it, think, my grandchild loves me so much. And remember that their memory is not in the object. 'Tis in your heart. That felt a little heavy, so let's talk about something lighter, making our space work for us. Because decluttering isn't just about purging. It's also about making your space work for you. things got a lot easier for me when I forgot about where things should go and started placing things where I actually use them. I used to store all of my nail polish in the bathroom because, I don't know, that's just in my head. Nail polish goes in the bathroom. Now, my nail polish remover's in the bathroom because that's where I take off my nail polish, I wash my hands. But my nail polish is in a pretty box next to my sofa because that's where I do my nails. I sit on my sofa and paint my nails. So trucking all of that stuff once a week or every other week from the bathroom to the sofa, not wanting to move it because my nails were wet, then the next morning trying to remember to put it back. I mean, sure, if that works for you, but having the nail polish in a pretty box on the coffee table next to my sofa is making my life better. Some other outside of the box storage ideas: maybe put your vitamins right next to your coffee maker. Keep spare trash bags right in the bottom of your trash bin. I keep my power bars by the front door now so that as I'm leaving, I grab one and chuck it in my purse rather than keeping them in the kitchen with all my other food. It has made it much easier for me to remember to grab a protein bar and to have snacks on hand throughout the day. I used to keep a change jar by the front door because it made sense to me. You get home, put your change in the jar right away. I never did that, but at night, when I took my pants off and hung them up, change would fall out onto my bedroom floor, and I'd just leave it there because I wasn't going to pick it all up and take it out to the front hall. I moved my change jar to my bedroom. Not groundbreaking, but now at the end of the day, when I take off my pants, I see the change jar on the shelf next to my closet, and I grab the change and chuck it in there. It's just a little thing that makes it a lot easier for me. Some other things that have worked for me: keeping a donation box in the bottom of my closet so that I can declutter as I go. This sweater is scratchy and it is driving me crazy right now, and I'm remembering this from last year. So when I go into my closet to get changed, this sweater, as cute as it is, and even though I like it, this is going into the donation box. Keep a laundry basket where clothes get piled up. Like, if you get home and you sit down on the sofa and you know that you're going to take off your sweater, your jacket while you're on the sofa, and you get a pile on the sofa, maybe put a bin or a basket next to your sofa. It'll just help with a little bit of that visual clutter. As we move throughout the series, I think we need to talk about what's the difference between decluttering and organizing. Because let's be honest, we've all organized, right? Where we just kind of shift things around and put them together in a way that looks nice, but we don't get rid of the things that we aren't using. I have spent hours arranging my kitchen gadgets and making sure that everything fit neatly into the drawers. But then the next time I use them, I don't remember to put them back together the same way so it doesn't fit as neatly. And I don't use half of them anyway, so why are they taking up real estate and making me try to be a Tetris Jenga master in my own kitchen? Or buying more bins to just kind of contain the mess and the overwhelm. But that's like shoving everything in a closet before company comes over, because the mess is still there, right? I wasn't decluttering or really cleaning. I was just kind of rearranging the clutter. True decluttering means removing the things that you don't need instead of just rearranging them. If something is not useful or meaningful to you, it's okay to let it go. No amount of organizing is going to make unused items more valuable. One last thing, most free stuff is not our friend. Most free stuff is clutter. Makeup samples, hotel toiletries, perfume samples, catalogs, random event swag like beer cozies with the company logo that you won't remember a year from now. 99% of the time, This stuff just sits around collecting dust and getting shuffled from one counter to another counter to another counter. So if you have these things in your home, it is perfectly acceptable to throw them out or donate them. And guess what? You're allowed to say no. The next time you're out in public and somebody says, here you go, and tries to offer you a sample of a moisturizer or a sample of a new laundry detergent. Especially for us ladies, it can be really difficult to say no thank you, but it's okay to say no thank you. And if you're too uncomfortable, you can't say no thank you, you can say thank you and then throw it out in the garbage before you even get home. I know that sounds a little wasteful, and maybe it is, but you've got to protect your peace. If it's going to stress you out saying to a stranger, no, I don't want that, if you are concerned about the back and forth, if they try to talk to you about the benefits of that thing, take it. Take it, throw it out. You tried. Cut yourself some slack. Those are some highlights, things to keep in mind as we jump into this series and start decluttering our homes one small project at a time. Decluttering does not have to be an exhausting all or nothing process. This new series is all about making it doable. Over the next few months, we're going to tackle small projects, our purses, our car, our kitchen utensils, and so much more to help you clear some of the clutter without burning out. If you are ready to declutter without getting overwhelmed, make sure that you subscribe, and next month we are starting with purses, bags, backpacks, any sort of carrying container outside of the house. It's going to be a good one. And if you want to get started today, you can check out my cleaning and organization playlist. We've already got some declutters, some cleaning projects, little projects when you've got a little bit of energy. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you take it easy on yourself. I hope that you feel energized and inspired. And I hope that you remember that you are not alone in trying to regain a little bit of calm and control in your home.